And yep, I think we're live. Sweet. Hey everyone, FusionEd coming at you. And today, I'm going to be building a rock climbing simulator from scratch. And it's really cool because literally I found out this morning when I checked Reddit that someone else had built a prototype to basically try this out. So I think that's super cool. And if you've tried Sweet Escape VR, I tried that out about 4 months ago. And yeah, that's also another like kind of rock climbing-esque thing that you can get on Steam. So if you haven't tried that out, definitely recommend checking it because I think it's a really cool mechanic as far as that's concerned. And I guess the other thing that you probably all know by now is that we've moved over to FuseVR as the platform that for actually streaming these things. And the primary reason is the chat log. I want to actually keep that on the website because YouTube, for stupid reasons, I don't know why, has no way of actually saving the log, and I know a few people have complained about that. So I wanted to make sure that the chat log stays as part of the stream so that if there are questions, you can kind of like look at the timeline of when things were posted and actually see those questions. So I think that's super cool. And this is something me and Abdo are working on as far as actually fleshing out this website as just a good way to like ask questions about stuff in the stream, stuff on other things, find people to work on projects with. So we have a forums and Q&A, so definitely go check those out. I think a couple people have already been using them, which is super cool. And you can also just put suggestions there. But let me step back a little bit. But as you can see here, Abdo built this huge model out for us, and it's just a giant rock climbing wall that we're going to be playing around with. We'll duplicate it. It's all textured. There on the website, there's a link where you can download this if you want to follow along. And yeah, this is the wall. So I'm super excited about this, and let me just show you how this works. So the way that I saw it work in Sweet Escape VR, and I think it's really cool, is you actually hold your controllers vertically or horizontally like this, and then you use the grip button. So you can either use your thumb on the bottom or climbing here. I'm going to be showing how to build it this way, but you could just as easily kind of use the triggers here and then hack away at it. I think that would be really cool for like say an ice picking thing, like where you're like hacking into the wall, and I think that would be super fun. But for this, just going to be climbing. And so I'm going to go put my controller into this handle here, and then I just have to make sure my controller is in it, and then I just press down to hold on the grip. And so I can just climb along here. I'm just going to climb somewhat high. Oh, nope. Scary part is about the falling. You got to make sure you can't fall. And so the neat thing is I can hold this here, and if I prep a jump, I'm gonna try and these jumps always scare me. I'm gonna try and go for that rock right there. Let's see if I can actually get it. Yes. Yeah. So we can nope. And then I let go. But yeah, the point is you can do jumps, and I didn't set a reset in, but so I fall to my death indefinitely. But you can definitely add a reset in if you just fall too far. And yeah, you can do jumps, you can scale. We'll also change how you can actually go about kind of doing like a jungle gym type of thing and just having the wall on top of you. So like a bunch of that cool different stuff is what we're going to be playing around with today. And I don't know, I find rock climbing to be like a really fun, exciting part of the vibe. It does take like a lot of effort, so or especially if you're doing it for a long time, just kind of doing mountain climbers like that. But still think it's super fun, and I really like in Sweet Escape VR, it's actually multiplayer, so you're kind of racing someone. So all of those are super cool. And yeah, so that's what we're going to be building. So if you have questions as far as like art is concerned, hit up Abdo. But other than that, we're just going to be rolling along on this. And as always, going to be starting a new project. So let's just go to new. Let's call this climb live stream. And I'm just going to be saving it to the desktop. Sure, let's save it. I don't know what I actually changed, but we're saving it. Yeah, it is live, Ben. And yep, I think live is super fun. I got rid of my game view. I'm gonna quickly add that in because I like having a game view. And here we go. Just get off to the side. Cool. So gonna just go ahead and import in Steam VR because that's what we're gonna be using. And I guess while I'm doing that, I'm curious. Have any of you actually gone rock climbing, or have you tried any rock climbing demos? Because I think both of those are super cool as far as that's concerned. Like, or I don't know why. I think it's just that sense of height. This might be scary for someone that has a fear of heights, although you could potentially get over it, which is also another cool thing about VR. If you guys know Tipatat, he built like the Matrix VR. He's also worked. He's an investor, and I think one of the things he says he loves about VR is it actually cured his fear of heights. So I think that's super cool that you can do that. So the reason it's hot garbage because it's in early access. So I guess in the chat they're asking why Sweet Escape VR, and I'm promoting it not for buying it because I think you can build it on your own, and that's what we're going to show you here. But I'm promoting it for the mechanic, and they were like one of the first people to actually do that, and I think that's the really cool part about it. I don't think it's actually worth 20 bucks, but you can build it on your own. And I think the mechanic, and they were the first people to actually do that mechanic. So I give them kudos for that. And so that's basically, that is my spiel as far as that's concerned. And so yeah, so let's go ahead and get the SteamVR plugin built into here. I'm just gonna get rid of the main camera. And I'm going to go ahead and add in a plane just so that we have something to fall onto. And that is in game object, 3D object, plane. And let's just set that back down to 0. And yeah, all right, so we have SteamVR in, we just have a plane. I'll also go ahead and add in the climbing wall. And so for that, I have it already saved here, but this is, let's go here. And let's just drag that into our assets. So that takes like a second just for it to import. And let's go with that. And yeah, boom, we have our climbing wall. Let's go ahead and reset that. And right now it's just kind of huge. We didn't actually know the scale we wanted to play with until like yesterday. So I'm just gonna scale it down to like 0.2. I think that's a pretty good scale for this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let me see, where's my camera? So my camera is over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just move the climbing wall back a little bit. I want to start on this guy right here. So that's the wall I like to start in. And actually I'm gonna do this on the other side. That's what I realized. This is backwards. All right, so let me move it back here a little bit. There we go. So I want the starting point kind of be that edge right there. And so then you can just kind of start climbing, you can go jumping, you can go pretty much wherever. I'm also just gonna, that one is just a little too far out. So also just gonna pull that in. And yeah, so that's just the climbing wall. We're gonna put that in. And so then the next step is just really, let's just get started actually building climbing. So for that, what we're gonna actually do is we need to get hit play so that I can actually, let me see. Okay, cool. I can see the controller. I'm just gonna zoom in to here, and I think this is the left controller. So what I'm gonna do here is I want to put a bounding box around this so that we know that, so that the physics engine within Unity knows when this thing will be colliding with one of these rocks. So to do that, I'm just gonna go ahead, create a blocks collider, and it's right now huge. So let's just go ahead and hit edit, shrink this down a lot. So that's a thing. And here we go. Just get it approximate so that, whoops. Yeah, just get approximate, just so we have some numbers to play with. And let's just center this at 0, 0, 0. And pull this a little back, pull this a little down. And let's see, what is the size here? Actually, this looks somewhat reasonable, actually. I think this should be fine as far as a bounding box is concerned. So yeah, so we just have a very simple bounding box for the collider. We can probably make it a little bit bigger, just so that we have a little leeway as far as not actually missing the rocks, because you don't, like, one of the things that I don't like is falling, so I'd rather stay on the rock as long as I can. And yeah, just make sure to go ahead, copy the box collider here, because as soon as we stop hitting play, we won't be able to see it anymore. And for the left and right controller, I'm just going to go ahead and paste as new. So I'm just going to pause quickly here and look at the chat. So the asset package should be on the website if you go to the bottom of the video, and then you can get the wall that Abdo has built, and then also just SteamVR. That's it. So those are really the only things you'll need. And so yeah, so now we have a nice bounding box for our controllers. So the next step will be, we're actually just gonna write the script that we need to actually do our climbing. So let's just go ahead, create a C# script, and I'm just gonna call this pull. So let's go ahead, open that up. Cool. Actually, just gonna put the controller over there for now. And so for this, basically what we need to do is keep track of how far our controller is moving, and then move the whole body based on that. And you want everything to be linear as far as movement is concerned. So when I pull like this, I just want to push myself forward, is the basic idea. And for that, what we're actually going to need is a reference to the whole body, which is basically the camera rig. For now, I'm just going to make it a game object, and we'll just call this body. And we'll be setting this within the Unity interface within the inspector. And we'll also, I'm just going to keep this public for now, and I'll just say hide an inspector. But we want a reference to our controller. And so specifically, this is going to have to be a SteamVR, where is it? SteamVR tracked object, there we go. And this is just going to be controller. And we'll also want actually we don't have to hide this in the inspector, we'll just set it in the inspector, that's fine. And then the other thing we'll want is a public reference to whatever the previous position was. And we'll be using that in just a little bit. So for this specifically, when we start up, we want to basically use our previous position, or save our current position as the previous position, so that we can always have a delta of how much our controller is actually moving. So for that, what we're going to have to do is just say prev pause equals controller dot transform dot. We're going to actually be using local position. So the reason we're using local position as opposed to global position is because when we move, so when we grip and then we pull, our position is actually always going to stay the same or close to the same, because we actually move the body along with it. And that's good, because we want to be holding onto the rock. But we want to actually see a delta so that we actually move in the first place. So for that, you have to keep the local position, because that'll always be changing relative to the actual rock itself. So that's just something to keep in mind there. Let me look at the chat real fast. So yeah, good call. Yeah, and the nice thing about the chat right now is that you can actually post links, which is just, I like that a lot, because YouTube didn't let me do that. How do you feel when it feels like you're pulling the world and not your body? So it's it's I think as opposed to feeling, it's all about keeping a frame of reference. So if I have if I have I have an environment with a ground and like I can see those textures, um, I think it just feels a little more grounded. The neat thing also that I've noticed is that because, and I'm not really sure what's happening in your mind when you do this, but like I think what's happening is when I make this action here to pull myself, my brain actually thinks that because there is some controller in my hand and there's some weight to it, granted it's not my whole body weight, but there's some weight to it, it feels like my brain kind of intuitively thinks, oh, this action means my head should go up, like I'm getting pulled up. Um, and then it just kind of naturally thinks that you're moving up as opposed to like the whole world kind of moving. But yeah, it's like it's a good, probably psychological question as far as like how that works. And yeah, to be honest, not really sure what the what the right way about it. I think definitely having stuff be grounded, especially up in the distance, helps. Um, but yeah, let me know if that answers that question. So, all right, so going back to the script, we've saved our previous position, and so what we're going to be doing specifically is in our update function, what we'll do, oh, again, you would think at some point I'd remember what the actual code is for this, but in all my streams, I always have to make sure I go back to extras and test throw, and I just copy this line. It's kind of silly at this point, but it's the way, I just cannot remember the exact syntax on this. And so yeah, we are going to copy that line. And this just basically lets us know this line is specifically for the trigger, but I'm just going to change this right here to be the grip. And on the controller, you know that there are probably two grips here, and this line detects both. So, and unfortunately, I don't think this specific method has a way of detecting which one. They're kind of both treated as the same. But if someone knows, put in the chat if there's like a good way to distinguish between the two. I think I saw in Unreal that they had a way to distinguish between the two, but I haven't checked specifically in Unity. But for our purposes, it's actually good to be able to detect to detect both. So once we do get touched down, all we really have to do here is if we're, sorry, we don't want get touched down, we actually want get touch. The difference is touchdown is the first time that you touch that grip button, and then after that it returns false, whereas get touch is as any time that I'm holding the grip button down. So we're going to be using that, and then all we really have to do here is say body.transform.position. So that's the global position of where SteamVR is in our world. And we're going to just say plus equals prepause minus controller.transform.local position. And yeah, with that, why is it erroring? Oh, I deleted an extra. Gotta make sure that those align. And with that, we should basically have our first thing that we can test out. And yeah, we just have to add that to our controllers. Or yeah, exactly, to our controllers. And we'll just, what did I call it? I think I called it pull. So actually what I'm going to quickly do is just hide this in the inspector because we don't need to see it here. But as soon as that updates, then we have both our controllers selected, and we can just drag our camera rig onto the body. And then on the left controller, we'll drag the left controller object there. And then on the right controller, we'll do the same thing there. And actually, since I haven't done this, we can just go ahead and save our scene and call this climbing. So with that, we should now basically be able to test it out. And right now there is no physics. We'll add that in, but which is the next step. But basically, whoops. Right. Okay. So actually, what I should specifically say is, so we didn't add anything for detecting when I hit the rock. We'll add that next. And I'm also going in the wrong direction. So, or at least I think I'm going in the wrong direction. So let's add both of those, because that's kind of important. So for that, what we're going to do is create another variable. Let's call this bool can grip. And we're going to be using the void on trigger enter. And also void on trigger exit. So let's do that. On trigger exit. And as you can probably guess, when we enter that trigger state, we want to say can grip equals true. And when we exit, we want to say can grip equals false. And then we want to say if I am allowed to grip and the device is the device is touching or we're holding down the grip, then let's actually pull ourselves in some direction. Otherwise, don't do anything. And obviously for that, we actually need to make sure this is trigger is applied. So let's go ahead and do that. And again, I'm also just going to hide this in the inspector, so we don't need to see that. And we also need to make sure that we have physics applied to all our rocks. And so on this specific asset, I asked Abdo to basically separate the rocks from the wall so that we can just select everything that's a rock and add a mesh collider to it. And that's all we need to do. So once we do that, as soon as our controller hits a rock, we'll basically be able to detect that, and then on trigger enter should be called. And we should actually test that out. So I'm gonna actually, probably the easiest way to test that out is just unhide it from the inspector and hit play. And I'm just going to make sure I can, so at that point, I don't know which controller that I'm holding. Okay. So on this guy, he is not getting detected. And why is that? Because can grip should be entering right now. Oh, the thing I always forget to do. Classic. And for this, what we're gonna do is we need to add a rigid body. This is the one thing I forget every single time, but you need to add a rigid body in order to detect the on trigger enters and on trigger exits. So now let's try it. Still no? Come on. Oh wait, I'm not selected the right thing. There we go. There we go. So if you take a look at the pull script right here, now as soon as it hits it, true, false, exactly what we want. And it doesn't apply hitting my monitor, but it doesn't apply anywhere else other than the rocks. So that's super sick. Let me. The puns are real. That's great. Yeah, no, this is awesome. I think like as far as the asset's concerned, I kind of if we were to polish it out, then I definitely think like if you have it like an actual rock climbing wall where you have like paths around it, I think that would be so cool. But Yeah, let us know in the chat if you'd actually like to see this on Steam. That's like one thing. I was just having a lot of fun with this, and I was like, wait, what if we just put this on Steam? Like, I usually don't put stuff on Steam, but I think, I don't know. I think I like rock climbing a lot, and just even as just a demo, um, I think it's super cool. Or like, if anyone else wants to put it on Steam, we're like totally fine with that. But like, I think it's fun. So, I want people to be able to build this and build their own levels and just have a lot of fun with it because it's really exciting, at least to me. I don't know why I get so excited about it. Um, but yeah, so now we can detect those can grips, and let's just quickly go back into the code and check it. But body transform position plus equals, okay, I'm just gonna quickly check to make sure that, oh, and I actually, okay, we'll fix this in a second, but, okay, so what did I collide with? Colliding with something. So out here, we're not doing anything, and here, what did I do? This is, I did set the body right? Yeah, it's the camera right. Left, right, can grip, controller transform local position. Oh, this is what happened. I also need to, every frame, make sure I set pre-pause equal to controller transform the current position. That's kind of important. So make sure you have line 29, because otherwise it sets it the very first time, and then that's very different from where it is in the other frames. So now, there we go. This is what I wanted to see. So this is our climbing thing. Obviously, I let go. I stay in the same place, even if I'm up here. So I can just, let me grab the other controller, but whoops. Like right now it's not scary at all because I can literally go wherever I want. But yeah, I can let go. If you have a fear of heights, that might be a scary drop, but luckily it's VR, so don't even have to worry. Oh yeah, I guess if you haven't seen, the backside is also rocked up, I guess, so you can use that. Pull myself down here, but at this point we basically have the basics of rock climbing implemented, and that's just with a couple lines of code. So that's super sick. And yeah, just got to make sure this is in here and we're changing the transform. And with that, you pretty much have a polling system in, and we have some basic physics detecting it. Now, the one thing I'll do before we get back to coding is the kind of the one reason why when I was kind of underground on the plane, I got detected is actually that ground is that also has a collider on it. And we want that to be there because when we apply physics to our camera rig, we want to make sure we actually hit it. So we do need a collider there. So we actually want to distinguish our rocks from anything that we want to interact with. And to do that, what I'm actually going to do is create a few layers. And layers is just a nice property in Unity that helps you divide a bunch of assets. So for this specifically, what we're going to do, I'm just going to select the controllers, and I'm going to hit Add Layer. And the layer I'm going to use here is called Controller, and Unity takes up the first 8, but then you have up to whatever is left here as far as making your own layers, so that's cool. I'm also going to add in a body layer, and I'm going to add in a grip layer. So those are the 3 types of objects that are going to be in our scene. So for the camera layer, I'm going to just make sure it's set to the body. And we don't want to apply this to children. For our controllers, we're gonna set them to the controller layer, and you don't need to set them to the children as well. And then for the gripping layer, we're gonna just select all our rocks again, and we're gonna set them to the grip layer. So those are just gonna be our grippable objects in our scene. And then everything else just can be default. So next thing we want to do is actually go into, where is it? Project settings, physics, nope, not physics 2. Edit, project settings, physics, cool. And basically what we want to say is the body is not going to interact with the grip and itself, but it'll interact with everything else. The grips, we can have them interact with themselves, doesn't really matter there. And the controllers shouldn't interact with the body or other controllers. So that's just in case you kind of combine the controllers here and you just don't want physics applied to them. But the controller should act with the grips. So this is basically saying what layers should interact with what layers, and it's just a nice way to actually do that in case you didn't know. And you can also set gravity here, so when we actually fall down, I can speed this up, slow it down. Naturally, of course, the gravity number is 9.81 meters per second downwards, so that's why it's negative. And yeah, that's pretty much all we need to set here. And so now, if we could test this out, but if I put my controller into the plane, I won't be able to grip that, whereas it'll only work with the rocks. So, but that's the basics of that right there. And so at this point, what I'm going to actually do, let me quickly check the chat. Color code the hand cold. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Ben. I was thinking, yeah, you can just color code everything and then actually grip across them, and I think that would be really cool. I'm curious what other feature. I mean, you could also obviously add a bunch of levels to rock climbing, but I'm wondering if there's anything more. I think like multiplayer is fun, but there might be. I'm wondering if there's anything more to add to this, and that I think would be super cool. But let me know in the chat. And so at this point, basically have the basic gripping. So let's go ahead and add some physics to it. And we'll notice things will start to break, and that's just natural coding life. And I'll explain why. It took actually, as soon as I added physics, a lot of things broke, and it took me a while to debug, but I'm going to step you through that. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to add a rigid body to the actual body, which is basically just the camera rig. I'm also going to add a box collider to it. And the reason is that the box collider is basically going to act as our safety net, or not safety net, I guess just the thing that makes us feel like we hit the ground. So let's just go ahead and quickly increase the size of our box collider. It is, I saw it somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's nice and tiny. So let's just make it a lot bigger. So specifically, just set this to 0, set this to, I don't know, 5 by 5. I think 5 by 5 by 5 could be good. It's a little big. Let's go 3 by 3 by 3. Yeah, good enough. We can also just kind of increase the Y position just so that it's like kind of somewhat centered on the ground. Maybe by 2. Yeah, close enough. Doesn't have to be terribly accurate, just because anyway your play space is going to scale based on like how big you are. And we could change the box collider to match your play space, but we don't need to do that for now. But yeah, so we have a basic box collider. I'm gonna turn off the gravity. I'm gonna make it kinematic for now. I'm also just gonna make the collision detection continuous. And because this is our play space, we don't ever really want to be rotating it in case it actually like runs into objects, because that could be really bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and freeze the rotation. So whenever it interacts with physics, it'll never rotate us. So that's super important there to just make sure people don't get dizzy. and we can drop the angular drag, and oh, my voice cracked. That's funny. And yeah, that's pretty much all we need to do to set up rigid body and box slider. We want to make sure it's not a trigger, and with that we can now just go ahead and start playing around with the actual physics of it. And so let's go ahead and jump back into our script. Instead of a game object, I'm now just going to call it a rigid body because we can use the body.transform still, even if it's a rigid body, but we don't have to worry about like the get component type of behavior. So I'm also just going to quickly put a hide in inspector since we don't need to see can grip anymore. But yeah, so we have this as a rigid body, and basically what we need to do is whenever we're holding onto a grip, we need to say body dot use gravity equals false, and body dot is kinematic equals true. And the order of these doesn't matter, but we're basically saying don't apply any physics when we are holding onto these grips, because otherwise we'll just kind of it's just unnecessary because we're doing just this dynamic motion here of just moving the transform. And so then the obvious next thing is if we're actually not gripping or not holding down the grip, then let's just reverse these properties. And so this is use gravity true so that we actually fall down, and is kinematic is false. And so yeah, so we can try this out now and see what happens. So we still haven't added the velocity just yet, but we can my controllers turn off? I always tend to. Okay. Come on, there we go. Okay, there is, come on. I must have removed the setting. That's usually what ends up happening. Let me quickly just jump in. I thought I made all the rocks. All the rocks are grippable, so those should go through. Physics. So the controller does interact with grips, so it should be triggering. Let me turn all of these on just so that I'm not missing something silly. And of course, okay, so that has nothing to do with the physics layers. So we can do that. This kinematic is use gravity is set to false. Let's turn this off just to make sure I'm not going insane. What? Oh, that would explain it. When I changed it to a rigid body, it seems to have lost the reference. So it specifically it wants a rigid body here as opposed to the game object, and so that's why it was confused. So make sure to set those references again. There we go. Better. Scared for a moment. And yeah, there we go. So now let's turn those back on. And come on. Ooh, okay. Oh, I need to change. Derp. Not enough space. Okay, let me quickly enable the physics settings again. Just go back here, take this off, and these off. Okay. Okay. Let's go now. So there we go. can hold them here. So what you'll see is, so one of the controllers actually works fine. The other controller starts slipping. Let's go again. So this was actually the biggest bug that I came across and was confusing me for the longest time. And I'm not going to solve it just yet because I want to add velocity first. But let's see if you guys in the chat can figure it out before I actually get to it. Where's one problem in the vibe? Okay, so we have that else. I'm gonna add the velocity part in because that's actually really easy to do, and then I'll explain why that was happening in the first place. So let me go ahead and jump to an else if here. So this is just going to be as soon as we let go, we basically want to add a little velocity to our whole body so that the physics can just kind of pull us forward. And so I'm just going to copy this here, paste that in, put the, I hate that the autofill, but whatever. Just add the else if in, and then this is just going to be get touch up. So as soon as we release the grip, we're just going to copy and paste this here. And we're just going to set this to true, set this to false. And instead of changing the position, what we're actually going to do is go ahead and say body, since this is a rigid body, we actually get access to the velocity. And I'm just going to say it's going to be this divided by time dot delta time. So let's just get rid of that. And so that as soon as we release, we basically go ahead and pull ourselves forward. So that's the neat part about velocity. And so yeah, so we have use gravity, is kinematic, and with that, we've pretty much set update up. I will also point out that because we are now using a rigid body, we should change this to fixed update. And the reason is the physics gets all applied in the fixed update as opposed to update, and you can introduce some bugs if you don't do that. So that's pretty much it as far as this, and then there's just the one bug. But let's just quickly test to make sure that we do have the velocity set correctly, because testing is always valuable. Okay, so this seems to be, no, this is the faulty one. Let me just quickly pull myself up. Ah! Come on. Yeah, okay, this is a good one. I have to like quickly move my hands because otherwise I'm going to slip. Okay. Okay, so now let me try just like seeing if the velocity works now that I'm high enough. Just high enough to like see if I can grab that. Oops, should make some space. Nope. I did have a velocity though. That's the important part. Yeah. See, like I'm basically pulling myself forward just a little bit. And obviously we can tweak the gravity so that I get more of a force, and we can also increase the velocity more to just have more of a force to actually like pull myself forward. But that's just kind of the gist of it. And so yeah, clearly, let me just go ahead now and kind of explain why one controller is slipping and not the other. So I don't know if I was just being dumb when I was like attempting this the first time, and then I figured it out yesterday. Sometimes it just helps to like sleep on things. But so on both of these controllers, we have this pull script. And actually what ends up happening is they compete with each other for who gets applied first and who gets applied second. Because everything in Unity is synchronous as far as like execution is concerned. So what happens is one of these fixed updates is applied for the left controller, one is applied for the right controller, and there's an order. So say, for example, left goes first and then right goes first. So whichever one is applied second, so say that's the right controller, then all of it is correct. But whichever one's applied first is actually the body values here. The use gravity is kinematic. They, more specifically, this else condition of use gravity and is kinematic is set to false, is applied first and then gets overridden by the second controller. And that's really what causes the slipping, is like I'm holding it, but instead of the gravity being false and is kinematic set to true, it's actually the reverse because the other controller overrid the values. So let me know if that made sense, but that's just kind of generally what's happening. It's like one controller is overriding the other controllers because one controller is gripped and the other is not. So you wouldn't see it if both controllers are gripped because they'd both be in the same state. But if you just hold gripping with one, then that's where that slippage occurs because gravity is getting applied and then you just kind of start dipping, dipping, and dipping until you let go. So that's what's happening there. So the best way I've kind of figured out to implement this is really just go ahead and do some, just combine it in a separate script. So that's exactly what I'm just going to do here. And that's honestly just kind of the last thing we really need to do to fully get this fleshed out. And so it's just really a lot of just copy and paste here. Let's just call this the grip manager. Go ahead and open this up, and sure, why not? And so at this point, just going to go ahead, copy the rigid body over. Like each of the controllers needs to maintain like when it interacts with objects. So all of that calculations needs to be done on the controller level, but the actual movement is what we're going to do at a kind of almost one time at a global level. So I'm just going to go ahead, cut out fixed update here, replace that with this guy. I'm going to add two references to pull, and we're just going to call this left and pull public, pull public, no, public pull right. There we go. So those are going to get set, and then we're going to want, for now, let's just fix that. This is the reason why I actually at the beginning decided to make everything public, was because I wanted to make sure that we have references to them as soon as we do the script manager. So let's just go ahead and just call this L device, and then just copy and paste this and call this one here R device, and then just say right.controller.index. Let's just get references to those. We want to keep all of that from happening, and then also we'll set the brief pauses actually within the grip manager just to make sure execution happens the correct way we want it to. So like this line specifically, let's just go ahead and say like left.prefpause equals left.transform.local position, copy and paste this here. So like I said, just a lot of copy and paste and just kind of duplication to just like make sure that we're doing it for just making sure we maintain states for all of them. So now for here, what we're going to do is just create a Boolean that is like is gripped. And specifically, we only care, like we don't care which controller is gripped as long as a controller is gripped. So what we're going to do is just say left dot is or can grip or right dot can grip. So we're just checking that or here is like we're gripped if either the left controller or the right controller is gripped. And then I'm just going to just go ahead and put that within its own if, and then copy this else, put that here, and then copy this guy, put that in here. We don't have to worry about the can grip anymore. Wait, is that true? No, sorry, we do have to worry about that. Yeah, we need to worry about that because we're now applying the else if neither of our controllers is gripped, but we still need to be knowing like should I be pulling with the left or should I be pulling with the right? So then at this point, it's just literal copy and paste here. Let's call this left, and then this is also left, and this is L device. And then one more time, left, left. All right, now copy and paste this for right, 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 and right. All right, oh, I need to make sure these are rights as well. Let's go ahead and do that. And yeah, that pretty much covers exactly what we want to have happen. So at this point, pretty much we're all set, assuming I didn't make any typos, which I wouldn't be surprised if I did. You can go ahead and get rid of start because we don't need that. Public, 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 and we just have the triggers. We set it here, but we really don't need to. And yeah, let's just go ahead, and I'm assuming I didn't forget anything. I think we have pretty much everything set. So let's just go ahead and say grip manager. Make sure we drag in the appropriate variables. So left, right, just go ahead and add them in. Make sure, so we actually, on this guy, on the pull script, we actually don't even need the rigid body anymore because we're not pulling it. So let's just go ahead and get rid of that. And one day it'll update. Perfect. And that pretty much does it as far as that's concerned. Yeah, let's try it out. I think it's time to try it out. Make sure we're not slipping. And all right, come on, Lighthouse. I believe in you. All right, cool. So this one's working fine. That minus the shaking of this controller. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, there we go. Okay, now I'm just going to pull myself back a little bit just so that the lighthouses can probably see this better. No. Derp. The fail. Oh, where am I relative to my lighthouses? Okay, I should be like somewhere here. All right, and now I'm on the inside, but whatever. You can probably add some like fail safes too. Let's see if I can jump to it. Ugh. Nope, not then. Let's try it one more time. I don't know why I had so much fun with it. Derp. Come on. No. I don't even jump that high. That's the sad part. One of these days I'll learn how to jump with rock climbing. But that's like the nice part about VR is like I don't have to worry about. All right, let's try to scale somewhere else because clearly I can't jump for the life of me. Or maybe I should just actually go ahead and yeah, you know what I should do is just like increase the velocity. But that's the beauty of building it from scratch is I can tweak all of the variables however I want to make it feel good for me. Like I can just reach. I have enough reach. That's exciting. There we go. There we go. Sweet. I have no idea where I am relative to the chair. All right. Let's see if I can actually try to catch onto one of these things. That's like the scary part about this. I suck. I suck. But yeah, that's the basics of it. And now we have rock climbing. So we can in like about an hour. So at this point, we can play around with this. We can play around with whatever. But I'll just kind of leave it up to questions people have. It's like about an hour now. So what I can probably do if people want to catch up is jump into a random game. I could try to do a budget cuts super speed run, um, or something else. But yeah, I think I'll probably jump into a game, see what questions people have, um, and then probably just try to change up this map a little bit so that I can actually do it. Try to do a speed run. Maybe, you know what I can do? Actually, though, this will kill my computer. But we could try adding in some interesting lighting here. Kind of make it a dark atmosphere. There are things we can actually know. What I want to do, I changed my mind. This is something I thought about was like having this rock climbing wall off in like some random forest. Using like my favorite map, and I haven't used this one in a while, is let's see if I can find it. It's the Enchanted Forest? I think that's what it's called. No. Hand painted forest. This is my favorite asset. Um, I think it's one of the most well done, fairly optimized, and just looks really clean. Um, yeah, this will be available later on, and you can watch it, and in about an hour you can be rock climbing, and that's how cool this is. And then obviously add whatever you want to this. Like right now it's just have some fun, add whatever environment, sure, whatever. This asset, what is it built for? That's what I want to know. 4.6, no wonder. And 5.0, but oh, the leap motion. I do have a leap. Not with me. I wish I did have it with me because then we could do that. Granted, I have not played around with the leap dev kit yet, and I think yeah. So like as far as like tutorials in general, like yeah, they'll be offline. We also, if you like browse the website, we have the blog post and like all of the videos are there as well. You can also just there's a social link somewhere on the website. I don't remember where, but like you can go to the YouTube channel or Facebook, Twitter, whatever floats your boat. If you want to follow what we're doing. And let's see, did it import? Because I really want to see it. I really want to see this assets. Yes. Okay. Cool. Um, yeah, let's use their demo scene, you know, save it. Because it's a pretty big map, but I think it'll work somewhat. Actually, I don't know. Maybe not. I could probably make the map bigger. Ah, there's so many trees though. I'd have to get rid of trees. To kill all the trees. That'd be so sad. All right, let's see. Let's try it and see how it goes. And see at least what it looks like. Yeah, let's save it. I'm just gonna go ahead and copy the climbing wall and the camera rig, and then just kind of get those into this demo scene. Just paste. Where did I paste it? Okay, paste it over there. Yeah, maybe have it. No, I feel like it'd be better in like the middle of the map as opposed to like the side of the map. Yeah, maybe like somewhere here, and then just kind of have it towering, towering above the whole scene. That could be cool. I could dig this. Um, yeah, something like this. The trees are kind of making me sad, but all right. What I'm gonna do is just go ahead, keep this here, and then we'll play around with it afterwards. And I'm just gonna stick around for like, I'm gonna jump into the lab just to like kill some time and have fun because that's cool. See if you guys have any questions, and then just kind of play around with this. I didn't get to try some jungle gym stuff, so I kind of want to move some assets around to see if we can actually do that because that's I think fun. And yeah, so let me go ahead and do that. No, I changed my mind. I want to go into, so what I'm going to do is go into light blade. I think I said, what did I say? I think I said lab, but I changed my mind. Struggles. Cool. And let's see, get some sound going here. Oh, nice. And if you haven't checked out like if you checked it out right when it came out, I mean, I think a lot of people liked the concept, but it was kind of easy. But now, if you kind of jump in here, there's this extra thing. So forget about it now. There we go. If you go into extras, then there's a desert temple, which is definitely a very, very fun map. Good. I don't think I've been able to do this like one hit. It's really easy to do that. Kind of like swinging a baseball bat. And I think this is the last one. Yeah. Alright. Let's go, buddy. It's actually really easy. It's like, let me stab you all of the times. But I definitely love the animations on him though. And that's like one thing that I know a couple people have asked this in the suggestions. So I definitely wanna try building a sword fighting demo. But at the same time though, I'm like I have like mixed feelings about this. It's just like you don't feel the interaction when I put the other the sword. Yeah, you can add the haptics. And actually I don't. Yeah, they don't add haptics here, which I kind of find a little disappointing. But they should definitely speed up the animation. But yeah, no, I don't think the haptics would add enough. That's the problem. What? Alright, let's go on. I think that's all you have to do, because he literally, there's no blocking. Like, oh, I died. Whoops. He died yet? It's like a nice little particle effect, though. That's for sure. And why am I not dead? That was way off screen. That's the one part about VR is like I can never tell where I am relative to the webcam. But no, it's I think really fun. That's for sure. I enjoy it, but let's see. I'm gonna jump back now. That was like my 3 minutes of fun, and then I'll go back and check the chat. But I think it's still a really nicely done thing. I think it's made by one guy, which I'm like, wow, that's like really impressive. That's for sure. Yeah, the haptics. I mean, like even I feel like with sword fighting though, like even without the haptics, or like even with haptics, I don't know if it still feels the same because I would really just want like a force pushback, or like to actually feel like my sword hit it. Like that's the part I don't know how to simulate really well, and that's like a little frustrating to me. Yeah, photogrammetry would be really cool. Yeah, I mean using the grip Jedi Force, I could totally see that. Those are all cool ideas. Actually, yeah, the force wouldn't actually be that hard to do. Maybe I might do a separate tutorial on that. But like that. Okay, this is a random question. Do you guys have leaps or like would you guys be interested in seeing, I should probably just put a poll on this, but like, would you guys be interested in seeing tutorials on the leap? I do have that. I've been tinkering around with the idea of like actually using that, but I don't know. It's a very different design mechanic for the leap as opposed to the Steam VR because I don't know if it's just me, but like having your hands like the headset right here and then you have to have your hands like kind of in this box is just it's a little annoying to design like you can, but it's a little annoying to design like cool experiences for it. It's like being able to like swing your sword from out here is like also just like I don't know. It's just so cool. Okay. I mean if people are down to see Leap stuff, I will look into their SDK. I haven't done that yet, but that's something somewhat easy to do. So I can do that. Yeah. Hmm. Actually, I should try that out right now. Where do I keep my hands relative to the headset? 2,500 for a computer. I'd rather not buy the Leap. Or maybe it's just like something I should do like both with. I don't know, but yeah, I totally hear you. That's like yeah, once you have the vibe, it's like I would so much rather develop for it. But I also completely understand. I don't need headphones. What am I doing? I also like completely understand. Like there are a lot of people, especially on mobile VR, that like want to just kind of use their hands for. What did I just draw? But yeah, okay. So where are my controllers relative? So am I always gripping where I want to grip? Also, these assets look really nice in here. I don't think it's just the lighting. It's just really well done in this scene. You can get it for free. Oh man, is there really nothing for me to grip? Ah, no, I had it. Wow, actually, yeah. I don't know what it is, but like the shininess in here is like really, really cool. Derp. All right, come on. I can do this. I believe in myself. Nope, I didn't even swing. That was just disappointing. Oh, man, the struggles were real. My sister was trying this out yesterday, and she was like really struggling. And I think I was having it easy, or I was having a relatively easy time, just because. Okay, so here's actually the problem. But going back to what my sister, yeah, definitely the scale is something to work on for this for sure. But going back to that leap issue, am I in frame? Yeah, I am. Ow. But going back to that leap issue, so what happens is you need to know where your controllers are at all times. The problem with this, because like when I go here, I don't see this controller anymore, and the leap wouldn't be able to see it either, and would think that I'm falling. Whereas like if I look back now, my like the system knows that my controller is stuck here. So how do you get around that? I guess one thing you could do is as soon as you get to a grip, you just stay there, or like you require them to kind of. Actually, no. Even then, that doesn't work because like there are just like movements here that work so well with like knowing where your controllers are at all times, but they don't work well as soon as I like basically as soon as I stop looking at my controller. Like that's the really hard part. So if you guys have ideas as far as like how you would design this for the leap without looking at both controllers, let me know because that's tricky. That for sure is tricky. It's like either you make it so you basically don't have that concept of falling, which I think is sad because I really like that concept of falling, or something. I don't know. I really don't know. That's hard. That is a really hard question. Let's say one more time. Wait, I grabbed something? Yes, no, no. No! No! It's like I grabbed it and then dropped it. So sad. So sad. Alright. But let's go ahead. And actually, even with the trees there, it's kinda cool. So yeah. Um yeah. That's the sad part. It's just like not being able to see your hands. I don't know I don't know how to fix it. I really wish there was a good way to fix it. Um really? You'd spend money on haptic gloves? I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would spend money on haptic gloves. That's an interesting thing. Um let me see. Okay, what I want to do is make a make that pole. Here we go. What I'm just gonna do is start combining some of these assets together to see if we can make something, make a basic obstacle course. I think that could be fun. So like maybe rotate this here, put this. Now at this point we're just having fun. So like if you have questions, just like shoot them out. But yeah, at this point it's like there's pretty much no development. Now it's just like how do you make a good level? And I have no idea. So let's find that out. um, see, let's maybe grab this piece somewhere. Which piece is it? Which let's grab no, not that one, not that one. Which one is that? Which is okay, there we go. I want this piece. Maybe pull it. Changing. Okay, so oh, someone asked about attaching to feet. I am getting another Vive very soon, and I'm about to play around with that and see what fun what fun it is to actually have 4 controllers and have them all tracked. I think that'll be so cool. Um, but yeah, the one thing is obviously unless you're a pro and can use your toes somehow to magically interact with the buttons, they pretty much just act as like uh, placeholders to like dribble or something like that. So I'm I'm interested to see like how that would work. But as soon as I do get some more controllers, I will there will be either a video or a stream of that, and I think that would be really cool. Um, let's see. Oh, the exoskeleton gloves. Yeah. I just I want to see what content people make with those because like they all like my problem with like all of these external suits is that they all require a very specific SDK and it's not like this one track pony when I kind of want it to be. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Have you set up the lighting and rendering settings from would that help? I have not used the lab render in this. We well, are there any real-time lights in here? That's the better question. Like I mean I think for this you'd probably unless you had it in a nighttime setting, lab Valve's lab renderer wouldn't actually help because it's meant specifically for real-time lights. Um, but as far as scale is concerned, like that's just like shrinking down the mesh and like proper placement of the rocks. Which I mean, Abdo did a really great job, I think, with actually placing these rocks around. It's like it's about the right scale when I set it down to like 0.2. So yeah, that's no, I'm not buying. I'm not buying a Vive actually. I am getting it. I don't. I posted this on Facebook, but I'm getting a Vive for free because I won it in a raffle from going down to VRLA and going to Mindshow or like trying out Mindshow and giving them feedback, and I magically won the raffle. So that was super cool. And yeah, the prize was a Vive and a PC. So we will have another Vive and the PC in the house, which is super exciting. I was stoked. I was like I read the email and then I was just like wait, why is my name listed in this? And then I was like, oh, I just won a raffle without knowing it. So that was super sick. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I was like really excited when I saw that. But yeah, okay, back to I guess random building of this wall. Let's see, what do I want to do with this? I'm just having a lot of fun right now. It's like, but yeah, the more stuff people work on, or the more questions people have, the more I am happy to answer them. That is a thing. Let's see, maybe move this sideways. No, I didn't. Well, I got it from God, what is it called? Unity's. I got the vibe I currently have. I got it from what conference was it? I can't even remember the name of the conference. It was something. It was Unity's Expo or something like that, and they were giving all participants a free vibe. So yeah, yeah, it's really strange how the world works like that, because otherwise it would not have a vibe. uh, let's see. Let's go ahead, move this over here. Maybe put it on the other side. Wait, what? Wait, I'm sure this one. Oh, whoops. I moved the wall without the rocks. I was like, wait a second, where did all the rocks go? Let's see. I am based in the Bay Area, in specifically San Mateo. I'm actually streaming from Stanford, but that's a separate issue. And yeah, it's like Stanford's internet is nice, and being a student it helps with that. Um, um, Oculus Touch, I want to when it comes out. Whenever that comes out, that's a while from now. I don't intend to buy it because I mean, one, I don't even have a Rift. I doubt that the Touch is gonna work with the D. I have a DK2, but I don't think it's gonna work with the DK2 is my guess. So I might buy it. I might not buy it. We'll see when it comes out. Nice, from Vegas. Cool. Vegas is a fun city. Uh, where are you at in Stanford right now? I am in. Where is this? I'm in Packard. That is where I am. I'm in lovely little Packard. Got that double E life. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can climb this. Oh, I'm stuck in the trees. Oh well. My controller's turned off. Let's see. Come on. Up. There goes the physics. All right, time to climb this. Time to climb the obstacle course I just made. Cool. Oh, I'm getting stuck in the tree. That's why. I was like, why am I interacting with things? And I'm like, oh, that's because. Oh, there we go. Nope. There we go. Ah! Sweet. I like having that tree there. It's like it's that saving grace for these falls that I'm consistently doing. Probably because I didn't make the colliders big enough. Oh, nice. There are so many rocks here. But like, I think the really cool thing is you can go under this, and it's like a jungle gym type of thing. It's like that's so cool. Ugh. It's like I feel like a kid again. Honestly, I'm just like wee. Let's see. Oh, it's like all those stretches though. It's like it's so surprisingly taxing-ish workout. Not really. But let's see. Where do I want to go with this jump? Chase straight down, maybe. Oops. Ah! No! I should add like a teleport back to the beginning. That's what I should do. Um, But yeah, he's right. Guessed 125. I don't know where the numbers are coming from. That's like the random part of this chat. Um, but yeah, guess 125 is right. These all work with touch. But I'll say this though, like I don't know what the grip translation is. Um, but as far as it working with touch, it might feel a little awkward. So like with touch, I'm assuming the default orientation is this. What the default orientation with controllers is this to this. So I'm translating it like this, which means actually that could work. It's like I don't know what button you use on the grips, but yeah, you could kind of climb like this and it would work. Yeah, so yeah, you can totally climb. I guess you could climb. I don't know what it would feel like with the touch, but like you would want to like those like are the little tweaks that like if I had a touch, I would definitely like you would want to try out and then like actually make sure like oh this feels natural with the touch versus the Vive controllers. But like otherwise like yeah, it's you gotta you just gotta test it out, and I can't test it unless I have the touch. So yeah, that's an issue. Um, yeah. Okay. Cool. So we have the basics here. I forget. Do these trees have? Let me check. Yeah. Okay. The trees do have mesh collectors, so I am running into them, which is fun. Breaks my fall a little bit, but yeah. So we have that. Um, yeah. So I said this at the beginning, but like Um, would there be stuff you guys want to see as part of like the website, as far as that's concerned? I know like this is something Abdo and I are like really passionate about is like actually making sure like this is just kind of a good place as far as not only being able to like communicate with us, but also being able to like communicate with each other, because I think that's a huge part of like this developer community is like we want people like working on cool projects like with each other and like and being able to find each other. And I think that's if there's like anything that you guys want to see as far as that's concerned, as far as like the chat is even concerned, I know like there are a bunch of things that we can do to like get that optimized as well. I think this is just a start for us, but hopefully like this can grow and then like actually become something super useful to people. That's something we want to see. Sell me a touch? How much are you selling for? Or I don't even know who that's addressed to. But Nathan, I think I'm gonna try and beat you to winning that touch. If I can win a Vive, I can try to win a touch also. That's a thing I can do. Trying to join but never got the confirmation. Uh, join the forum. Uh, just like through the registration. Um, I'll definitely check and let me know. I don't know if guests can PM, but you can just email. If you just email, here, let me just type it in right now. FuseVR, fuseman@fusevr.com. Um, whenever yeah, I'm using up all of the bandwidth right now to stream. But yeah, if you just send me an email at fuseman@fusevr.com, I can like with your specific whatever you used to sign up with, I can take a look and figure out why that happened. Um, yeah, finally got some email set up. It's more of an alias, but it still works. But yeah, I'm super stoked as far as like the future of kind of what this holds. So yeah, yeah, I'm glad that the last part about YouTube is like it just like it happens really fast. It's like I say something and then you get in the chat, so that's cool. Let's see, we're about like 11:30 right now. And so yeah, if like feel free to literally ask anything, like as far as like stuff you'd want to see like with this, or like stuff you'd want to see with I don't know, just anything in general. um, like projects you're working on. Yeah, I'm just kind of also curious in general, like what projects you're working on. I'd love to check them out, see if I can help out like at a high level in any way. I've talked to a couple people on Reddit with like projects they're working on. I think like the website is also like a really cool place to like also just kind of get like alpha, maybe find some like a couple of alpha testers. And definitely love to help out with that as much as I can. Me and Abdo are both kind of like really swamped, but I definitely want to see. I want to see like if you use any parts of our stuff, like definitely would love to check it out and see like how you made it like 10x better than whatever I show in the streams, because like these are just like starting points for a lot of people. So, but I'll probably like leave it on till like probably 11:30 and then call it a day, or call it a morning. I guess it's not even a day. It's like my day on a Saturday starts really early, and it's like barely afternoon here. I'm sure like I know there are like a lot of people in Europe that watch these, and then a lot of people in the East Coast, and like that's their afternoon. And like from pulling high and low gravity, so you could oh, I mean yeah, I can just here. That's actually really really easy. Oops, I have to reload all of the assets. Um, I wonder what that would feel like actually if I just do. Oh, I don't want to kill myself. Well, let's like jump. Let's jump this up, and then it's like 10F that, and then see if I can ninja speed my way through this. What's the? Oh, okay, come on, controllers. That might have been too much. And now there goes gravity. Bye-bye. Oh, that's great. Maybe 10F is a little too much. Let's go with 5. That was great. That was. It's a good thing I don't get motion sick, because that might have thrown some people into a tizzy fit. That's for sure. Oh, come on. Can I not grip at the same place anymore? Oh, it's okay. I know what's happening. There we go. 5 is a lot still. Ugh. 5 is a lot. Okay, well, we're gonna. Yeah. Let's maybe try 2.5. I think 2.5 might be reasonable. Come crashing through. Yeah. Ah, nice. Uh-oh. No, I missed. I missed the grip. Yeah, whoops. I should really add a reset. That's a thing. Whoops. Came crashing down. Okay. No, yes. Ow. Oh, I keep doing that. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do is real quick. What is the where am I starting from? That's I'm starting from, let's 23 8 22. Okay. So what we're gonna do is really quickly, just so that I am not like constantly restarting for the life of me, because that's just annoying to keep on taking the headset off and on. Let's see, let's call this trigger just for now. So if it's like this or this, and we'll do it on get touched down. Body dot transform dot position equals new vector 3. What are the numbers? 23.81 going to 07. And yeah, we should probably honestly, like, it would be easier to just store this in a variable, but that works. Okay. Oh, Abdo. Abdo, you're always needed. What's wrong? Parsing error. What? Oh, classic. I end up deleting the last. All right. Let's see now. Okay, so I crash. Oh, I didn't do right device. I did left device again. Let's go our device. Okay, cool. All right, so like that. Now we're able to keep on crashing and falling. But point being is now I can actually climb to my heart's content. Oh wait, I'm supposed to like jump myself up, aren't I? Oh, nice. That was convenient. No! Not enough velocity. Okay. Ow. Hitting trees hurts. Both in virtual reality and... No! Come on. Enough to pull myself up. We go. Oh, oh. That was scary. I almost let go. Alright, let's see. Uh-oh. Well, because of the fact that I can actually pull myself through an object, I'm wondering if I can just jump to the end of the level. Let me try that. Ugh. Ow. That hurt. Did I see a Neil? Was Neil the one that asked about Stanford? Come on. Ow. Hitting all of the objects in my room. Alright, try that one more time. Let's see if I can actually get to the end of my makeshift level. If not, we'll call it a day. Oh, there we go. No. Okay. It's a great stretching workout. I'm not. Ooh. Almost pulling off. That would have been bad. Okay. Dude, these rock placements are so stellar though. And I didn't have to do that work. Abdo did all that work. That's how pro he is. Alright. Come on. There's no way I'm making this. Oh god. No. Alright. Let's see. What else is in the chat? Yeah, well. Alright, cool. Well, 11:30. I think at this point we've built pretty much what we need to build, and I'm happy with it. I think, yeah, there's a chance we may flush this out a bit more. We'll see, but still, yeah. And yeah, definitely let me know if you enjoyed this. As there's no subscribe button anymore, but like you can definitely follow us on social media. Been active a lot on Twitter, and I usually don't use Twitter, but posting a lot of cool things I find on VR in general. So do that, and I'd love it all. Like if you're like thinking about going on a project, just shoot it up in the forums, and hopefully people can connect and start working on some amazing stuff. Like that's why we do these streams. Like hopefully to get a lot of people working on some really cool projects, because VR's in that stage right now. It's like a lot of early adopters, and hopefully it goes from early adopters to a lot of people building really cool content, and that's what I want to see. But yeah, that'll pretty much do it for the stream, and hope you guys enjoyed. But other than that, this has been FuseMan, and I'm signing out. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'll also the chat will actually stay alive, so we'll stick around for that. But yeah, see you guys later.